on the outside a little bit more. We know he can be very destructive with the ball in space, but probably his greatest asset is his head over it.
Well, here's a turn-up. Kerridge and Crowley are going head-to-head. I don't know if that's going to last all that much longer, but Patrick Dangerfield is in there, and he's going head-to-head at this bounce with Stephen Hill.
Underway in this pivotal battle, and Hill straight away coming off a 4-goal game last week. The clearance inside 50. Ballantyne has been good lately. 3 goals last week. Rolls it, tumbles it. What a start that would have been.
Well, last week there was a disconnect between Big Sandy and the midfield, but not at the first bounce. It was just gold-plated stuff.
It was as fluent as you'd ever want.
Adelaide wanting to take the game on down the middle, Brenton Sanderson said last week. And there's Dangerfield's first crunch to Sloane. And he's slow getting up, Dangerfield. Maybe he wasn't let up.
And as expected, Kerridge and Crowley have dispersed. And Kerridge is with Nat Fyfe. And that's a good tackle. We were talking about that early, Moons, and great to see that the tackling for Chris Mayne may well bring his ball-getting ability back to the fore.
Well, you'd hope so, don't you? They really do need him to start kicking some goals. Pavlich has kicked 20 and Ballantyne 15, and then it's a long distance between thirds, so they really need some help down there.
Spur. Wide, Subin. Kept it in front. Couldn't complete the deal initially. Sutcliffe.
Importantly, he stayed on his feet, so he stayed in the contest while his opponent went to ground.
Back to Spur. As the runner in the middle, Barlow, to Daniel Pearce, who looks up. Clark's on the move, out in front, got it.
Getting better with each and every game, fast approaching his 100th.
Just floats it wide to Daniel Pearce. Collects with Sloane corralling him. He gives it out wide instead of going himself to Duffield. Long, Sandilands.
Well, that's a big victory, isn't it? He's taken Jacobs to fullback. And the second entry into the full forward line, into the forward 50, has resulted in big Aaron Sandlands on the second bite, grabbing an opportunity, a big mark and an opportunity for goal.
Good big ruckman can go forward and take marks. Very rare do you see a big ruckman that can go and play full back.
It's a luxury, Lynchy, when you could run under the ball and still mark it.
Kicked 3 goals, 1 so far this year. 2 chances early for Fremantle, 2 missed opportunities.
You're spot on, Moons. He did look like he had run under the ball, but just the monstrous reach made it impossible for Jacobs.
So a couple of let-offs for Adelaide early. Smith keeps it low and take it on. That's what they wanted to do. To Thompson, to Betts. Spurs under him. He's got an arm. Slapped it away. Betts good tackle. Causes almost a turnover. Kerridge takes it to the line.
The guys just behind play. Ballantyne, as he went in for that smother, I think one of the boys landed on him. He's giving him a little bit of a corky in the backside. We just see it here. That hurt.
Yeah, just a little clumsy fall there, just to make sure it hurt a little bit. Just limping from the ground.
Can't beat those clumsy falls every now and then. Sandlands, but his arms free. Mzungu thrown, didn't have it. Crowd saw it. Neil. There's a crazy scramble out there close to the boundary. That's probably a throw, you'd think. And just dumped it on the deck, even though he had no prior opportunity. Thompson and Edge pushing the back. Kerridge with the handball, and the umpire will sort it out, the boundary umpire. And there he is, Ballantyne. He's picked back-to-back 3-goal games the last couple of weeks, so he will be sorely missed if he's as sore as he looks. Keep an eye on that with Cameron Mooney. Sloane in the meantime. Subin shrugs the tackle. Back to Sandlands. So Fyfe. And now Subin down the middle, open forward line. Who does he want? Pavlich. Well worked. Biggest coming the way.
Well, they had an extra in defence there, the Crows, and effectively the kick went straight to the 2-on-1. Duffield's the spare across the half-back line for the Dockers.
Smith who provided that protection for Talia. Another touch. Poor kick though forward. Fyfe. Gee, had prior there, just got it away. Sutcliffe bumped on the kick. An untidy start to this one. Ball comes out to Rutten from Otten.
Good running here for the Cameron, but not used.
Podsy Adley just pokes that to half forward. Hill gets back. Tapped it to Duffield. Put him under pressure now. Duffield was going to mark that, and then he would have had an opportunity just to get a kick away, but the tap to him put him under the pressure. Ball up. Taylor Walker feeding back inside 50. Back in town last week. Pods. And that didn't really work for them. Duffield. Spur. Crowley. And play.
Jug it out.
Just not quite certain whether that was a deliberate handball just over the top or not, Lynchy, but it was well disguised by Crowley if he was trying to get it out of bounds.
Yeah, it was disguised well enough. He got away with it, so very good.
Dangerfield on the end of the Jacobs tap now, stolen by Sandlands. Didn't get much of a kick away. Johnson, Mundy outside of the boot. Laird, well, he doesn't drift down all that often. A rare chance here, Rory Laird. Will he go for it? Just sits it up. Jenkins, a couple to beat, and there's the reach again. Too tall.
Well done from Zach Dawson, actually, just to hold his direct opponent out. So good combinations from the Dockers.
It's good work too by the big ruckman getting back down there, and that's what you were talking about early. You can't wait with your ball movement if you're up against the Dockers. You've just got to get it in there. Dawson did well, didn't give away the free kick, although the holding was there, and he just blocked him out, and Sandlands with courage came back.
As mentioned, McFarlane on Taylor Walker right now. Free kick's been found. Mundy off the ball. Free kick. Being held.
Ballantyne, okay, guys, about to come back on.
Bit of magical spray down there, Moons.
Just got the magical rub.
Rutten and Zach Clark. Looks an interesting matchup. I reckon if Clark could just get his athleticism up to the fore, he could do some damage down there.
Spot on, Jared. He's just trying to wrestle with Rutten at the moment. He wants to get on his bike and just cover an enormous amount of territory. He'll make it really tough for the big experienced fullback from the Crows.
Pavlich kicking to where he'd like to be. And here's Clark. Sets himself. Rutten, there's the truck. Got it down off the front bumper bar. Laird gets it out. Jacobs reached down and flicked the handball to Smith. And Yench gets his chance. And Talia can go if he wants to. Thinks about it.
Gone forward. He's
Has to get it going. Has to get it going.
Talia sees him now.
Too late.
He could still go here. He's got a couple of options inside 50. He's got Cameron, or he's got the goals, or he's got Walker, and now he's got Cameron still, who can waltz in, play on, open up the angle. Blimey, Charlie, that was good from the pocket. He worked off his man beautifully.
Well, he pushed hard forward, Eddie. Some call it shooting, which is rubbish. It's just good forward play. He saw that they were going to win the ball, and he charged forward into space, worked hard athletically. You can see him there, bottom of screen, and finally they work it out. And then there were two options. There was one through the middle of the ground. Big Tex Walker got to some space. Pods had worked hard as well. And in Cameron also into the forward pocket. And he did it well with the check side.
Yeah, nice goal, good build-up. As you said, Eddie Betts worked hard forward of the ball. His direct opponent, Lee Spur, was forced to go up to try to pick up or stop the overlap, but couldn't impact the contest.
Sandlands the flick down to Mzungu. Back to Sandlands, having a huge influence, but strangely enough, the Adelaide Crows lead, and Dangerfield's got it.
Leads the Adelaide Crows for contested marks, and that was another one.
Thompson, who's having an outstanding season as well, averaging 26 possessions a game above his career average. Walker, a little push away, was nice. He slipped at the inopportune time, and the free kick's going to go to Lions.
Having a good few minutes here, the Crows, building with some confidence. Walker coming out, a nice old don't argue. Didn't give away a free kick. Here's the don't argue.
Yeah, to the shoulder as well, not to the face. Laird told to go.
They can keep going here.
Yench. Open side, Brown. Always good to get an early touch as the Crows just share it around. Talia. This time they don't want to kick it long to the tall man in the square, but they turn it over anyway. Barlow down the middle. Ballantyne back on. And they run.
Well, they've got the outriders at the moment, the Adelaide Crows. It's just they can't pull the trigger long at the moment, Freo.
Ibbotson put himself in a spot of bother.
Did well, though, to recover because he was blindsided initially.
Spur heads very off. Mzungu was coming off, and they screamed out to him and said, hang on, go and get it. So he did go and get it. Knocked down towards Sutcliffe.
That was comical.
That was amazing.
Pierce just nudged on the kick and kept it alive.
That was comical. How a professional AFL player was jogging from the ground, had to be told from the bench, turn around, you're about to get a touch. He's been a good player this year. Tendai Mzungu hasn't missed a game for a few years now.
Thompson.
Started well, Thompson.
Jenkins has to cause a contest, and he did. Got it down. Charlie Cameron lurking. Got the speed. Johnson with the poise and the experience. Dawson. Spur. A wobbler. Tough one to mark. And Hill. Pav's on the move in front. Got it. Perfection there.
Great build-up. You were telling us before, Jared, about that developing player in Zach Clark. And he can play in so many different positions. We just, again, saw the reach, the athleticism, but the run from behind again. Fantastic pass from Hill.
He's still got a long way to go, and eventually his athleticism and his, I guess, knowledge will equalise, and he's potentially could be a real force in the competition. But it came back to Michael Johnson, and again, a player whose abilities are still underrated around parts of this country. He turned this defence into a potential attacking shot at goal, and again, the Dockers just a little bit wasteful early in the piece.
So that's where the Podsiadly-Johnson matchups is critical for the game from the Adelaide Crows' point of view. Podsiadly has to take marks. He has to get used on the way through to make sure that Johnson's accountable and just doesn't run off free.
Long kick in. Jenkins sets himself. Ball to the back. Duffield told to play on. It was touched. Dangerfield on Crowley inside 50. Ballantyne had a piece of it. Met heavily by Otten, but legally. Going down to get the ball. Dangerfield again crunched in the middle of all that. And the umpire will have to sort it out.
Well, that just equalised it for Hayden. He was crunched on the right side, so now it's all even because he was just crunched on the left.
Jacobs. Lyon. Caught. Took a while. Fyfe. Caught. Throws it away. Umpire saw it.
He didn't see the initial head high, though, which I reckon Nat Fyfe would be a little bit disappointed with.
Kerridge.
Just wait, mate. Move it on. Play on. Yours.
And again sits it up. Jacobs up. Fists it down. That'll do. I can reset.
Well, at least the line's been drawn, Lynchy. We know you're just allowed to let the ball go if you get tackled and let it just drop to the ground, but it would appear as if you're not allowed to absolutely throw it with one arm.
No, that's right. Good clarification.
Another free kick off the ball. It's going to Fremantle, and it goes to Main. Hands to Duffield. Sends it long. Goal square. Pav, position 1A. He left it for Ballantyne.
They pay the free kick to Pavlich. I think they will. Which I don't quite understand that. Might as well pay the mark, I would have thought.
Well, it's
wasn't happy, Ballantyne.
Because the mark actually deserved a shot at goal. It was a brilliant mark.
Although the mark would have been on a more acute angle.
I'm with you, Jerry. I think if someone marks the ball, you've got to pay the mark before the free kick.
Absolutely. Hayden Ballantyne wouldn't have cared if it was row 5. He was still taking the kick.
Yes, but the umpire, I reckon, did the right thing because the angle was better. And the free kick was first before the mark. And the Pav, the one that got away for the Adelaide Crows, South Australian, slips it through the middle.
Yeah, we know his story. Done the hard yards early in the piece. Had a nice taste of it under Chris Connolly, although it was only the one preliminary final. And then they've re-emerged under Ross Lyon. The question for Pav is, can he get that final step up the mountain?
Nice bit of blocking from Pav too.
Yep.
Could have been a bit each way there. Blocking Talia.
Keep working. Next 5 minutes again.
Dockers back in front. There's the inside 50s. Jacobs into the ruck and got a piece of that. Neil tried to knock it to Ibbotson. Pulled it back, and Sloan to Thompson. To Walker. Bouncing ball. McFarlane right with him. Just watched him as Johnson went and got it. Ibbotson. Sutcliffe. Hill. Neil. Low to Pav. On the bounce. It'll push off. And got away with it. Neil hands it back. Fyfe pushed out. Umpires have let it go a little. Been a few they could have paid. Yench. Smith. Talia.
Really good smother inside that group by Lockie Neal.
Johnson.
who is developing, and Johnson on fire early.
Sando wouldn't be happy with that. Pod's just caught behind. It wasn't a great kick, but just racking up disposals, Jono.
Fyfe the danger.
Duffield looks up. Fyfe thought about playing on, will go back.
Well, that was really interesting. Kerridge didn't have another gear to go to in trailing Nat Fyfe, because he was 5 metres away from him, 30-odd metres before he got the ball. And there was no upper level of speed to try and close that gap, because 10 seconds before, maybe 6 or 7 seconds before he grabbed it, it was obvious that's where the ball was going.
4 goals in the 3 Brownlow votes against Adelaide last time these two teams met. Nathan Fyfe. And he sprays that, and he does have the ability to do that. Out on the full, didn't even score from there.
Disappointing shot from at max 40 metres out. I think he was a little unlucky there. The umpire brought him around on a bit more of a tougher angle than he should have been.
Dawson leaps and flats it down. Sloan to the wing. And the race on. And look at Cameron go. Keeps it in front. Looks around. Takes them on. Puts it in front of Dangerfield. Good fist, Crowley. He kept his eyes on the ball and got all Sherrod. That was amazing.
So was that.
Oh, that's a pass.
Douglas nicely back to Dangerfield.
Well, there's 3 Dockers there that all, I think, thought someone else was going to take the responsibility. Paddy Dangerfield missed an opportunity there. Could have blocked, could have pushed off Crowley, but elected to get his arms up early, which signalled to Crowley that the ball was coming. So he gets another opportunity to make amends and slot one, really, just to stick it to the tagger.
So just if you're not getting a kick in the midfield, to have that ability to go forward and kick goals, major asset.
He hasn't kicked a goal in his past 3 games, Patrick Dangerfield. So there's some pressure on him to nail this. He's all class. On cue. Adelaide back in front.
And immediately signalled to Richie Douglas that it was his good work, because he was a 1 against 3. Here's Crowley. Now, Dangerfield could have blocked him there. And yet his eyes ball could have blocked him there. Didn't use his arms at all to guard the space. And Crowley just kept his eyes on the ball. That was great defence.
It was great defence, and on 2 counts, certainly Patrick Dangerfield, even if he went closer to the ball and it made Crowley run into the front of him, that was a free kick. So he had a couple of options. He's a star player, just taking his tagger and Ryan Crowley to full forward.
Tell you what, the other kid's impressive too, Charlie Cameron. He has got some pace.
Johnson. Now, Johnson was the free man, should swallow this.
And that is just the 101 of not how to play the Dockers. You've got to avoid Michael Johnson at all costs.
Yeah, and Brodie Smith's been the spare at the other end of the ground.
Well, Cameron's about to shut him down to Johnson. Podsiadly. The cavalry arrives for Adelaide. Taylor Walker will push off. Wanted to go for goal. Dangerfield, good option. That's better. That's the class act. To Cameron. He's got a couple.
Well, they've got a taste for it at the present time. The Crows have brought the hunger to Subiaco this afternoon, and their pressure through the middle, notably on David Mundy a couple of times, was excellent. And this is where the ball was turned over. Again, it was Mundy. Again, the pressure came. Nice push off from Tex. Good vision. And this time, that's exactly what we expected. Good hands from Paddy Dangerfield, who created another goal.
Jared, I love the move of Dangerfield going forward. I don't know if anyone's really tested Crowley down in the inside 30, 25 metres from goal. It looks like he's really worried about it down there.
Subin, perfect palm down. Sandland from Subin launches. Clark's at full forward. Rutten's right with him. It's a 2-on-1. Smith elected to take it out. No, he didn't take it out in the end. Had that option and a rush behind, a better option.
That's risky deep defence. You're about to go over the line and you flick a handball over your head.
It's got an alley-oop.
Hail Mary 170 metres from your goals.
Well, the runner has left the building, Moons. Just follow that runner and see if he goes to Brodie Smith, because Brenton Sanderson has just picked himself off the floor.
High-risk mover, should have been punished.
Well, the players are so scared to run the ball out, they just don't know what the umpire's going to pay anymore.
Rutten. Jacobs to Sandlin. Sandlin's punches it straight down to Lyons. Thompson, good release, handball to Kerridge on the run. Put it in front of him and let him go. Cameron's forward, the danger man. He's in a 1-on-3 though, Cameron. Ibbotson gets back. Cameron hunting it.
Oh, look out.
Thrown and touched on the line.
Well, they need to possess the ball a little bit here, the Dockers, because the visitors are on a roll. They are running harder, working harder. They've got to suck a little bit of the energy out of the visitors.
Bit fumbly, Fremantle.
And now they're out though. They've got the extra man. Johnson.
Small forward line, it's Ballantyne only.
Johnson takes on Jacobs. Back to Subin. He steps Sloan a little too easily. Sutcliffe looks up. Needs to find a target. Sandlands. And he drives it long. Not really anyone there, and Otten read that beautifully.
That's why you don't chip the ball normally to a ruckman when you're running down the ground.
Yeah,
Just didn't have the finesse to hit a target inside 50.
What was impressive, though, the forward line was full of ballistic movement. They were working really hard to dock the forward line. They would have been filthy on the kick-in.
Good work again. Lyons over the top. Walker up to the wing. Adelaide have got their mojo working right now. Smith. Tough ball to be marking, but Dangerfield, as we've mentioned, he's all class.
He's got him in the air at the moment.
To Sloan. Puts it up. Cameron inside 50 again. Ibbotson out-muscles him.
This works twofold for the Adelaide Crows and Patrick Dangerfield. Go forward, be a really dangerous option. Also, he's not getting knocked about in the middle of the ground.
Just got to think it through a little bit, though. That was fast play on, which was great, but we've seen that come unstuck for them a couple of times 2 weeks ago against Carlton, and Sloan unfortunately kicked it to a 1-on-3 situation.
Clark got up there. Good pressure though. Sloan on the run. The pick and go. Sends it long. Cameron and Betts down there. Eddie had it, lost it, goes and gets it. Pokes the pass. Walker.
Good square
fist. McFarlane right with him. That's why he's one of the best defenders this decade has seen. McFarlane, now the 4th highest game player of all time for Fremantle.
It's good tactically down there, Lynchy. They're throwing the 3 tools at them at various stages, and then they're pushing Dangerfield and going small.
Douglas, but again, Johnson the man, as you mentioned, Jared, the one to keep it away from.
Well, he reads it as well as anybody. All the strikes in the half-back last year.
Doesn't kick it as well, though.
No, it normally does a bit better, but Johnson's had 8 disposals. He's effectively his opponent at the other end, Brodie Smith, has 7 disposals. So both players a bit of ball in the hand. Probably Johnson's been a bit more destructive at this stage, though.
McKay. Well, Sandlands is in the square. He goes hard and he easily fists that through. Back of the hand. I don't think McKay thought that through as well as he should have. If you have just joined us, there was a late change for Adelaide. Ellis Yeoman in for his AFL debut, right out. And Ellis Yeoman the sub. Clark. Lyons. And should be eaten up by 5. Crowd a little nervous at the moment. Betts to his own advantage, held and wins a free. Maybe just beyond his range though.
Just the pressure of the pace. Lee Spur not giving him any room whatsoever.
Well, Lee Spur would be keen to play well against Adelaide. They ignored him, Lee Spur. He's a mature age recruit from Central Districts. He played in 3 SANFL premierships and the Crows didn't want him. Betts plays on. It's bending, but not enough. It's floating now. Sandless.
Can you do that, Jared?
It looked as if it was the obvious move to make. The umpire's got to be smarter than that and effectively be fair to both sides. Eddie just used him as a block.
Well, do the umpires have to call that back? I mean, because we've seen it over the years.
It's on the play, by the way. Jenkins and Dawson throwing a couple.
Well, the umpire's just got to get out of the way. If he's going to call a bloke back, make sure he gives access to the man on the mark.
Yeah.
Still some push and shove behind play. Some spice in this. Mzungu heads wide to Pearce. Another player, in essence, that Adelaide didn't want.
Good pace here from Pods.
Had to earn his spot at Port in the end. Pods floats it up to Laird. Edged out of it, but still got it. Danger. Podsy Adelaide. Thompson left it and left it well. Brown. Douglas.
Thompson's getting too much footy, and I think Ross Lyon had asked Tendai to maybe just tighten up a little bit.
Walker.
Strength of Walker.
Kick wasn't so good. And now it opens up. It sits on Crowley. Rutten got there. Huge fist. Knocks it down. Turnover almost. Mzungu does turn it over. McKay. Jenkins calling for it long. Betts is there. Goes up, does Betts. Had it on the chest. It bounced off. Jumps on it. Jumped on. Great defence, Fremantle again.
That's as deliberate as you could ever want.
Yeah, but he disguised it well enough.
And it's on again.
And it's on again behind play.
Lee Spur and Eddie Betts.
That's a good battle, wasn't it? Those are ripper battles. Betts was well and truly in front in that contest, but Spur fought back and won it.
It's been a fantastic battle so far. It's got a finals feel about it. We mentioned that pre-game. Adelaide playing to get inside the 8, and Fremantle playing to essentially be a top 4 chance. Jacobs, top of the square. Rolling ball, Dawson. Johnson. But not a lot to go to. Main's his only chance. Sloane's with him. Half held him. Crowd not happy. Lyons to set it all up again. Goes back.
Saw Main. He's down.
He's had a couple of lean weeks as well. Yench sits it high. Dawson with the contest. And Duffield content to let that one run out. It hasn't been a great couple of weeks for Chris Maynard, must be said. Goalless the past 2 weeks from 3 kicks last week and just 2 kicks the week before.
It's that left knee. Now, it might have been, the good news is I think it was a boot to the knee rather than a twist.
Jacobs again. Got a good piece of that. Benz! Spur again held his ground brilliantly. Duffield under some pressure. Experience and poise, but it'll be coming back. Podsy-Adley will hunt it down. Takes some time. Walker, crunch.
It's a good game of footy.
It is, absolutely. Adelaide have often not started well.
You saw McFarlane.
This year, McFarlane's down. Been a lot of talk about, well, Adelaide with the new Adelaide Oval. The Crows have been putting on the best pre-game entertainment the AFL has ever seen, but the players haven't necessarily matched it when the game started. Right now, they are well and truly up for this, the Crows. We haven't seen the Tex and Betts show in full flight yet, and maybe in the second half of the season with Cameron down there, we're going to see it. Barlow bangs it. Smith takes the mark. Set it all up again. 20 seconds left. One last roll of the dice. Long kick. Jenkins the target. Martin into it as well. Walker off hands. Seconds tick down. Pocket. Not quite. Dangerfield. 6 seconds left. Stripped of it. And Fremantle get away with it. Quarter time in a finals-like game between 2 teams that believe they are finals contenders. And the Adelaide Crows away from home lead by 10 points. 3-2-20. Fremantle 1-4-10. And every player out there needs a spell.